So let's get you going then. If you're new to Fusion, this might help you. I'm going to choose my default catalog as being training, and there are further masterclasses in how to create these groups. I'm going to choose kitchen training, and immediately what will come up next is the wall layout wizard. We strongly recommend that you create your room in a clockwise direction, and there are a lot of templates here. Square L-shaped, three-sided or U-shaped, two parallel and a single wall, plus this very useful tool, a multiple wall tool. In any of these layouts, you'll notice it being represented on the right hand side here with a wall being labeled A and B. A will be 3 meters and B will be also 3 meters. These are set up in your options as a default value, but at any time you can change that to any size you want. So it's as simple as that. We can also change the reference from A to B by simply rotating and moving around the room easily. As I mentioned before, we're best working in a clockwise direction. So when you work with an L shape, it's not going to affect that at all because we can rotate this around as much as you want to. And also the U-shaped room can also be moved around and changed. But what you'll notice is that there are references here to 3 walls, obviously A, B and C. So any one of these can be a different size to the other, and you can change that configuration to whichever way suits you. Now the interesting one is when we come to a two-sided room or a parallel room. Here we've got ABC again, and C being the distance between the two walls. So A is the actual length of an individual wall, and B is the distance between that and its next wall. So very easy to work, and again it can be configured, turned round, changed, altered in any way that you want to. Not much happens with a single wall. Your choices now are only the length, the thickness and the height of the wall. But again, if it suits you, you can move it around the template area. And lastly, the most powerful one of all, the multiple wall tool. This is a really good tool. And if you can get behind this, it's very easy. We can control this area by this palette here, going up, to the right, down, left, or north, east, south, west, and then we've got the divisions in between. So if I want to send a wall upwards, and remember my suggestion is to always go clockwise, I can enter a value overwriting. There's no need to backspace or delete that figure. Simply overtype it, and there is my wall. And when you enter a value, if you press enter on the keyboard, it will also enter those other 2 preset heights and depth dimensions. Now I'm suggesting that we would go clockwise, so maybe we want to go off to the right, and there I'm going to make it 4300. I could use the keyboard to tap down through the other values, or go back to the original value and correct that had I made a mistake. So here I'm simply going to press now add wall, or I can press the enter key on the keyboard. But there are further shortcuts. On the bottom right hand corner of your keyboard, navigation arrows, left, right, up, down. And here, if I want the wall to go down, I'm now going to tap the arrow going down, and I'm going to tell it to be 4300 also. If I press enter on the keyboard, I now have total control over that keyboard area. So it's a quicker way of working. I'm going to press the left hand mouse arrow, and I'm going to change that length to 3600 millimeters. Again, remind yourself you can change the height of any one or any thickness. and I'm again going to grab the mouse and add the wall. Then I can go up the way, either through the keyboard or the mouse, and I'm going to tell it to be 500 millimeters, and there I am. Now, there are many rooms where we have difficulty measuring angles, and this software does it very, very easily for you. There is a tool in here called Complete, and it simply measures the length and the angle and adds it automatically for you. And there is your wizard. Very, very easy to work. But at any time you realize it's not quite what you want, there is the undo button, so it undoes one wall at a time, or redo. And we can also restart the beginning altogether. So I might go up and make that 3800, press enter. To the right or to the east direction, 3800 millimeters. Coming down now to 2000 millimeters, but I've now got an angle within the room, and I can send that angle up to the northwest, northeast, down to the southeast or the southwest. So I'm going to go down the way, and it gives me two opportunities. Would I like to measure the right angles and give it a length? Or I can come down to this area and change its length, its height, its thickness, and an angle. It automatically offers me 45 degrees, so I can change that at any time. I can come in here and now make that 30 degrees had I known the angle, dimension and angle. And from there we can then go straight down, so I'll add 500 millimeters, and there I am. And now all I know is that when I measured this room, this had a very strange angle in it, and I was not able to survey it correctly. Well, here's our old favorite, Complete, and it does all that hard work for you. So angles are not a problem in here at all. It's simple, and as soon as we say OK, it will then bring up this interface, and what it's asking you to do is to actually look at this area, and we could come in here and change the door frame, and there are a whole range of choices in here, a whole range of them. We could have clicked on and made the door metalwork, that's the handle, or the floor a different style or change of color. But also Fusion's made it a lot easier. If you remain on themes, over on the right hand side are 18 choices, and it's as simple as clicking on any one and you'll see the picture come alive. And these can be now chosen at the beginning or right at the end of the design for you. You can alter it and amend it. This is only your starter for 10 to choose a phrase. And those walls now are added in the configuration that we chose originally. And I hope that helps. Please do look out for further masterclasses. We have many of them.